Professor Joe, and thank you, the colleagues. So it's an advantage to have everything. So besides talking on the core sector and taking a lead there, I'll also like to make a mention what Professor Joe said in his opening remarks that during the formation of United Nations after the World War II in 1945, so besides security and peace, it also talked about social progress, human rights, and now SDG. So therefore, it is very important that the entire focus into our 1 month advantage, or even as a participant in the United Nations Security Council member, India should put the attention again and again to these points of social progress, HR, and the SDG. And it is very important what my colleague Manjeet Puri also rightly said to be a lead and center point into the various global discussions. Like, just to give you an example, what Professor Joe mentioned, I'll make a brief mention that chairing the Global Forum on Steel set the agenda when the world was thinking to club the progress and expansion of steel production, especially targeting to India and China. So China was anyway, it has reached the peak and we have to grow 3 times. Now, as you chair it, as you are at the steering wheel, it makes the whole difference because we changed the definition of excess capacity of saying that how much we domestically consume. So India is domestically consumed 90, so we did away with that bar and we are expanding at a great pace. Similarly, I was instrumental to be a part in the human rights thing, and today it becomes very relevant because HIV/AIDS, let me tell you, when that medicine India was making it the cheapest, the world IPR, which was mentioned by my previous speakers, was not allowing because of product and process patenting for India to manufacture. The global need was to get HIV/AIDS medicine cheap. So it was not talked in just the Security Council. It was the other bodies of the UN, which came as the ONHRC, which came as the general body meeting where the human rights issue was raised. And through the lens of the human rights, it was agreed upon to remove the IPR and allow India to manufacture. I think time has come exactly the same thing for the COVID vaccination, where we have to use these other forums to guide the Security Council and decide and take the right decision, which are important to move ahead with it. So, having said that, it is very important that when we are talking India with 1.3 billion population and historic reasons are there, we cannot be ignored. So, India has to create its niche and create a presence for not just developed economies, but for developing economies and the underdeveloped economies. That voice and that voting rights in the Security Council has to be a constant agenda which needs to be pursued as we go ahead. COVID has enabled to sort of as an equalizer. Everybody suffered. It was an issue of survival, economy, business, and across the economies, it has hit them back. So, what is very important is that the United Nations Security Council should not become like a Cholurica bridge, of the Honduras, where technology is fantastic, but it is of no use. The bridge is just a spot to go and admire, but not of any use. Today, security has to switch over to what has been beautifully spelled as SDG. And how do you bring this? How do you make it operative? I'm very, very clear, having worked with these organizations in different phases of my career, that it is the other organizations which has to be focused upon, whether they are your FAO, whether it's IFED, or it is ILO, or whether it is IMF, or whether it's UNESCO, or whether it is the Economic and Social Council, because it is here that you can bring in these agendas very strongly, which then goes into the Security Council, which are on the terms of what I said before, the social progress, HR, and SDGs. Because the COVID has given us that opportunity to say that it's time now to bring these things also center stage instead of just a lip service, like what I said, the Cholurica Bridge. That great, great, we all believe in human rights, we all believe in equity, we want SDGs, and it becomes more like a rhetoric instead of converting into a reality. So it is very, very important that when we have that this tiny opportunity of 1 month, and what is a paper of the chair, besides what has been focused upon is on the terrorism and the maritime thing. I strongly feel one should strongly consider to talk about the social growth, nobody to be left behind, and how do we bring in this human rights elements into it so that the handling of the world population, the handling of the progress, the bringing in the equity reasons is becomes a talk of the center stage as we are moving ahead. Here, I will also like to make a mention that when we are talking about these different economies and we are talking about the growth, what is happening is the veto votes, we are talking about becoming a member of a Security Council. But being a voice there, we can at least, till we get the right to become a regular member, our voice has to be heard, our agenda has to be set. And this setting of agenda will only come when we are actively participating instead of being a spectator or a reactionist. Because many a times I find avoiding being an active member in these bodies, we miss the bus. And once any agenda comes up which is not conducive to India, our entire energy is going on in fighting out this agenda. So it is very important we set it. Today, if you look at the WHO, when we mentioned about it, now that is a forum which should come up very clearly that vaccine has to be without IPR, has to be made clear. It's a human rights issue. And that is where the voice has to come up. And the whole energy is going into pricing, negotiating pricing, how we are going to go about it. No, you have a base price and then move ahead with it because the world is to be protected, the human life is to be protected, the human rights of the people is to be protected. And it is in the interest of the developed economies also, because if the rest of the world goes into poverty, it is going to adversely hit them in terms of more immigration, more problems, more kind of a hit into their progress, economic progress. So a health deterioration, bringing down the economy, hits everybody. So nobody remains in isolation. And today, because I've been working quite a lot into the digital world, the geographical boundaries no longer matter. What impacts in one place in terms of business trade impacts others. So various non-tariff barriers which we are talking about, today we talk of carbon emission as a non-tariff barriers. Maybe a time has come to bring in a non-tariff barriers when there is a issue about the SDG non-compliance, when there is an issue of health non-compliance, when there is an issue of vaccine not being provided as a non-compliance. I think it is a time to think out of the box and to hit them so that in the Security Council we are able to flag and bring in these issues also center stage, besides getting entangled into only the security measures, which very rightly said, many a times the solution lies more bilaterally and less everybody coming into it. And that is how it progressed. So I think I'll stop at this moment of time because I strongly feel the world body's voice has to be tuned to what is your national interest. And we are no less because just by sheer population, we can either contribute to the faster progress of the world or pull it down because if we don't grow, the others also don't grow. Thank you so much.